Okay, today we are going to make monsters using the same skills that we've already used. We've already used the marquee tools to make circles and rectangles, and the other day we were adding and subtracting, and that's exactly how these things are made. This part right here and this top here is made using the lasso tool, same for the french fry looking hair and the spiky fingers and the weird legs. Um, Same thing for, polygon lasso tool for the wings, for the top of the head, the beak. Um, and here are just some little drawings of monsters for your inspiration. Again, more monsters, combination of the elliptical marquee tool and the polygon lasso tool here. Same for the head here. This is mostly the legs here are adding and subtracting from a elliptical marquee shape. Um, Here you can see lots of use of the polygon lasso tool, like for the outline of this guy and the teeth. Um, so everybody's going to have to make their own monster. So pretty much I can't tell you exactly how to do it step by step, except for beginning it and we're telling you to add new layers. And I'm just going to show you how making one to start with looks like. So I'm going to switch to Photopea and click New Project. And we're going to name it Monster. And your name makes sense, right? You could have guessed that we would be naming this monster. And you want to make sure that you change this to inches first. And we're going to put it at 4 inches and 4 inches. And it's really important that we switch this to 300 so it doesn't look so pixelated and fuzzy when we're working on it. Because I realized when I was working on one earlier this morning that I wasn't liking it because it looked so pixelated, and I finally remembered that's why. Okay, so that gives us this square to work with, and to begin with, we're going to choose a background color. And so I'm going to just pick a very light color to start with for my back wall. And then I'm going to use the marquee tool. Well, Photopea doesn't call it the marquee tool. I think it calls it the rectangle select. But notice that the if you hover over it, the letter M is the keyboard shortcut for selecting it, and that's because it's the marquee tool. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to select the bottom third, and I'm going to make it a slightly darker version of the same color. Okay. Well, pretty much a darker version. Yeah. All right, and I'm just going to fill this bottom third with that color. And so that's going to be the floor for my monster. So the feet need to be firmly in this area and not walking along this line, because that is not the way artists who know what they're doing do their artwork. Somebody actually stands on the floor, they're standing on the floor. They're not standing on the line where the wall meets the floor. Okay. So to begin with, new layer. So that you can always add a new layer by clicking this icon down here at the bottom of the layer panel next to the trash can. All right, so now I have a new layer, or I could have gone to layer, new, and layer. All right, and so I'm just going to begin by, I'll make a basic shape. And now I'm going to switch to a different tool. All right, so I'm going to click and hold down and switch to this tool. And I'm going to make sure that Unite or Add to Selection is selected. And I'm just going to start making shapes here. So I'm just clicking a lot of times. And all right, so now I have added um, to the bottom of it. And so I can pick a color for my monster. Um, and let's see, I'll pick this bright turquoise color, and I'm going to switch to the paint bucket. Okay, and so there is my monster, basic monster shape. So now I just need to add details to it, like um, eyes, wings, a mouth of some sort. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and deselect, Control D, and I'm going to add a new layer. So once again, I'm going to go down here to the bottom of the layer panel because it takes fewer clicks to just do that. All right, and so now I'm going to try to make an eye. And one of the great things about making it on a separate layer is, this is too big. I don't want it this size, but it doesn't matter what size it is because it's on a separate layer, so I can always change the size. All right. So let's see. I will now. Let me deselect, and I'm gonna make an eye color for it, and I'll make it red for some reason. Not like me to make a red eye, but there we go. And then I'm gonna make this part black. And then I'm going to make a little tiny circle for the cat's light. And I'm going to make it white. So I'm flipping white to the top because of the color on top is always the color that fills. All right, and so I can deselect. And now that I have made it, I can shrink it down some because it was a little too big. All right, and I'm also going to duplicate it. So I right clicked, and now I have two of them. Okay, and what else can I do to this? So, one of the things I want to do is I want to give it spots, and I forgot to do that earlier. So, I want to reselect this layer that's got the body of the animal or monster on it. So, I'm going to use the magic wand because it's all one color, and so now I have a selection. And just for giggles, I'm gonna use my right bracket key to make my brush larger. I'm going to sample this color and then pick a darker version and try to give it a few uh, spots. And I'm going to make my brush smaller so I can fit in here. All right. And then I'm going to just give it a mouth like that. So now it looks slightly scared. So now I can deselect, Control D, and I'm going to worry about I'm going to try to make some wings for it that look like, or let's see, what else could I do? Hmm. I will make another layer, and I'm going to use this tool to make, oh, no, not that tool, this tool. I want to make a little wing. So I'm going to look, no, not at that, at this. Okay. Because I want to make some cute little wings. So because I have a new layer, I can make it anywhere. So I'm clicking a lot of times and going back to where I started to close the shape. I'll pick a slightly different version of that same color. All right, and now I'm gonna deselect. Actually, maybe not. Where might I find the line tool? So if I go here, and I want to make the line much darker, and I want it to go from like here to there, and from here to there. And let's see, I think I need to now merge down and merge down. And so now, oh, the lines are red. Oh, well. Okay, I didn't pay much attention when I was doing that. All right, well, here we go. So we've got one wing here, and I can rotate it some. And then I just want to make a copy of it. So I'll right click here, duplicate layer. I'm going to drag it over. I want it to go the other direction, so I'm just going to do this. And then I also want it to go behind him on this side. So in the layer panel, I'm going to drag it below this layer because that's the body layer. So I'm going to drag it down in between the background and the body. And there we go. And now I can rotate it a little bit. And he has wings now. And then what else could I do? Let's see. What did I say you guys had to do? A head with at least one eye and a mouth, at least one or more arms or legs. Got that. Either a tail, horns, or a back ridge. I haven't done that. Wings. I have done the background. Okay. So either a tail or horns or a back ridge. I kind of want to do a back ridge. So I'm going to add a new layer. And I'm going to use this. And I'm just going to draw this. And let's see how this looks. Actually, that's not a bad color. Let's see what it looks like on top. Ooh, Control D. I'm not real sure about that area. Let me erase just that little piece right there. Yeah, there we go. Much better. All right, so now I'm going to switch to the move tool because I can. Do things like this. All right, well, I'm going to call this. I'm not sure that I love this. Ooh, I'm going to make this an eyebrow. All right, now I'm going to make a copy of it since it's got two eyes. So, duplicate layer. Come this way. And switching it back. There we go. I want to rotate it, but there we go. So now I can. Okay. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shadow. That's not a requirement, but I'm going to show you how to do it because it looks better. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge all the layers except the background because all the rest of the layers are involved in making the monster. So I've got all of those layers selected. I'm going to merge layers. I'm now going to make a copy, duplicate layer. All right, I'm going to switch to, so you can see that I have two copies here. So now I'm going to switch to the one underneath, right? Because I want to fill it with a color like the background. Because when you look at actual shadows, shadows are not the the color of the thing, they're the color of the light hitting the floor. So I'm going to select this layer by holding down my control key and clicking this little picture of it right here. And you can see right here that it's selected at the moment. I'm going to turn off the visibility of the top layer temporarily. And so now I'm going to choose a color similar to my background. Okay, somewhere in between these two colors. So I'm just gonna, actually, I gotta pick something that's darker than this color now that I think about it. So I'm gonna do a tone, the color mixed with gray, and I'm going to fill it by holding Alt and Delete. Right? And so I'm gonna deselect, Control D. I'm gonna turn this one back on, and I'm still on the background layer, so I'm gonna distort it a little bit. So I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, and Distort. And that way I can make it look like, I should be able to make it look like this is on. Yeah, there we go. All right, and now I'm just going to drop the opacity on that a little bit so it blends into, so you can see the difference in color here and there. All right, there we go. Oh, just in time.